Just for the record, I don't have a problem with feet.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this week on Daredevil Born Again, it was a pretty contained story. Obviously, from we last, left off, we saw Vanessa get hit with a piece of glass. And in this episode, it's pretty contained. We're getting flashbacks with Fisk and Vanessa, flashbacks of Matt and Foggy. And then we also get a little bit of flashbacks of Buck. Um, Pretty much we're just seeing, the good and bad, the yin and yang of everyone's consequences. Can you overcome what you went through? Can you overcome what you chose to do? And then also we get a little sneak peek of Matt Loki having a foot fetish. But we'll dive right into it. If you guys like this type of content, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to us to get some more information. But we start off with this episode. Like I said, we last left off with Vanessa being injured. It was a pretty critical, state that happened. We seen obviously, what happens when when a loved one you see get injured. You don't know what to do, what to feel. And as we noticed through Kingpin, his emotions are really high. Obviously, this is his turning point, just like with Superman, with Lois Lane. Seeing your loved one die, it can have an impact on your life. So as we see Kingpin, he's doing everything in his power, getting the right doctors, getting everything he can to make sure that she suffice. Now, on the other hand, we have, Matt and Bullseye. Obviously, we last left off with them, escaping the scene, and really, they don't really have anywhere to go. The task force is still out there chasing them, and they're trying to do what they can. So we get a glimpse of a good interaction between Bullseye and Daredevil. We notice Matt, he's trying to do the right thing. Obviously, we seen in the beginning with them, he tried to end his life, and we noticed that some people can change, some people can't. And through these flashbacks, we see Foggy and Matt first becoming lawyers, trying to get their own branch running. We see the contemplation of good and evil. We see, like, can someone so bad become good, and can someone good end up falling to the dark side like Anakin? Now we take a brief moment back at the hospital. Vanessa's still in critical condition. Our main focus shifts to Daniel, Kingpin's right hand man. And as we notice pretty much in this episode, how far are you willing to go to be really good or really bad? And as we see with Daniel, he's contemplating every decision he's make. One being the information that he leaked to BB of Vanessa's location. Now we see that word on the street, it gets leaked out to the press, and he's not sure if he's the main culprit. And as we notice, him and Buck's relationship grows. Buck also knows that there's a side of Daniel that he's not sure he's willing to show. So we later see them take a journey, take a road trip to understand this relationship, to understand what's going on, and where they need, to move further. During this, we get back to Daredevil and Bullseye. They're both trying to do their best to escape. Bullseye, he's in critical condition, and we notice that Matt is having contemplations as well. Through these flashbacks with Foggy, they wanted to be good. They wanted to run their own law firm. And through his journey in this episode, we see that can someone so bad be saved. And that's just going through Matt's mind. And during this period, we still see the TVA or the task force trying to search them. Obviously in honor and justice for Kingpin. We see that they go back to the cathedral to hide out, see if you know they can make sure they're safe, make sure everything's good. Now back with Daniel and Buck, we see them approach a store. We see them buy some tools, and in Daniel's mind, he's contemplating, what he's done. He thinks he's messed up. Things aren't looking too good, and he's worried. You know, he's scared. But as we notice through their journey and through their story, that he wasn't the issue. It's all about fully letting go and embracing who you're meant to be. And we see Daniel take that place and fully commit. Now back with Matt and Bullseye, we see that they're barely just able to escape the task force. Barely able to do it. And we see at the end that he's able to overcome that mental blockage, remember his dying friend Foggy, and, serve justice. And in the end, we're left with Daredevil, Bullseye, and Karen. And we'll see if Karen has the same, passion, same urgency as Daredevil. In the end, for a brief moment, we're able to see Vanessa, you know, just pull through. She's up. Things are looking good for Kingpin. But as we continue their story, we notice that something's off. Her speech is a little slurred. Her vision's not, she's looking like she can't see good, kind of squinting. And we notice that things aren't always good as it may seem. And we're left with her just going still in critical condition and looking like she's not able, or is she, gonna pull through. Now leave a comment if you guys think she is, or if she's gonna come back maybe with amnesia, or if she's gonna come back fully healed. Just leave some comments on what you think is gonna happen for Vanessa. And like I said, make sure to like, subscribe, and also comment some more if you like this type of videos. And what was your favorite part in this video, and also what other type of content and movie and shows you would like me to review.